This is on the dock. Don't say I'm Misty because you've already said it.
I was about to.
We got a special guest today. In the far distance over there is Avery. She can't talk because she doesn't want to sit up and come close to the microphone.
Right.
So we'll just tell you guys she's waving.
Spectator.
She's totally waving at you. Avery is Misty's daughter. And right next to Misty is JD, who is Avery's boyfriend. Say hey to the people, JD.
Hi guys, how you doing?
JD watched about 15 minutes of this documentary.
I watched enough of it.
Enough of it.
I got the ending.
Do you think that us professional podcasters can get by only on 15 minutes worth of watching?
Oh, of course.
You would be amazing at what he can come up with
Of course.
after watching only 15 minutes of something.
All right, so this week we have so much to talk about, but I guess we're just going to just jump right in. Let's just jump right in.
Yes.
Let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
Because we've already been solving the world's problems for 3 hours before we started recording. Missy's been here 3 hours.
So many things.
So many things. Okay, we're going to be talking about Queen of Versailles, which is one that a lot of people have suggested.
Who was it that suggested last week?
There was somebody that did it. Somebody just emailed us or posted on Facebook, and I know Benji did a while back. Do you think he gets tired of us saying his name?
No, I think
We talk about him all the time like he's our best friend.
We love you, Benji.
We love you, Benji. Benji stopped communicating with us because we said
Benji was like, I've got myself a couple of stalkers up in here, so I got to calm down. He said, I already told you I have a wife. Move on.
Yeah, okay. So we've had like 2 or 3 people at least say to do Queen of Versailles.
Sorry, Benji.
And I watched it years ago, and I thought it was amazing. So
Did you like it?
yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was not impressed.
Shut up.
I wasn't.
I personally, in the bits and pieces I saw, I quite liked it. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Thank you,
Did
JD.
Well,
I knew I liked you. I liked it. We'll talk about it here in a
I
second.
think it just made me angry.
Okay.
Like, I can't get on board with the excess. I just couldn't get on board with it.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I'm poor.
Jealousy. It gets you every time.
It was
time.
that Green Goblin of
Envy.
jealousy.
I think that was kind of the intention of the whole film, was to make you kind of angry and show the inside of like the excess of everything they have, right? Like they have this 26,000 square foot home with however many
And it was too
bathrooms.
small.
JD, they were busting at
Right,
the
and
seams.
they were busting at the seams, and it just shows like an inside look at like how these people actually think, right? Like it,
Right.
like they're so loaded that they're
Blinded.
blinded.
17 bathrooms. How many butts do you have?
Well,
You need that many?
Well, okay, we're going to get to this. Hang on a second. I just said it was on Prime, but it's actually streaming on Hulu. And
It's on Prime, too.
Is it on Prime also?
Yeah, I watched
okay.
it on Prime.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on several platforms.
Okay. Well, it's old. It's from 2012.
Yeah.
It's the story of Jackie Siegel and her rich life. So originally it was just going to be about her and this, because they're building what's turning out to be the United States' largest home. 90,000 square feet. Like, it's freaking enormous. It is modeled after the Palace of Versailles in France, and it's pronounced Versailles, not Versailles.
Versailles. That's how I thought you pronounced it at first. You shut up.
not
You're
Versailles.
18. You don't know anything.
But that is, you know what? What did you, JD? Did you call it Versailles too? Oh, okay.
No, he's very educated.
I was like, that is phonics put to good use. If you said Versailles, actually. And then they said we went to Vegas and we saw the Paris Hotel, and we just decided to make the top look just like the Paris
Just
Hotel.
the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the rest of it. So this house, if I can find it, has 10 kitchens, a bowling alley, a health spa, maid's quarters, 1 stadium tennis court, and another practice court, a full-size baseball field, which will also double as the parking lot,
You would enjoy that.
ice skating
in.
roller rink, and a kids' wing with a stage.
He said they have a stage where they just do what they do.
What kids do.
What kids do.
Yeah. So originally this was going to be that story, right? When we meet them, we're like seeing them through this montage of private planes and nannies, tons of kids. She's wearing furs, homes everywhere. And
Did you love that the nanny lived in a closet?
yes, I wrote that down.
Literally.
Serious
It looked like-
excess.
It looked like one of the sheds you buy at Home Depot. It's like the ones that they have.
It absolutely did. They went to Home Depot and they picked out the exact one they wanted, and then they had it brought over.
And that one woman was in a room that literally her dresser touched her bed.
Yes.
Like it
and
was-
she had to close her.
And she had to
she had to
close
her-
it up to move. The same woman that said, I haven't seen my own children in 20 years.
because she sends all her money to them,
Uh,
which is
Jackie-
not unusual for immigrant workers.
Yeah, but Jackie, you can't afford a plane ticket to send that girl home for Christmas.
She can. Yeah,
That made me
spoiler
mad.
alert.
That's
she totally
why I
can.
didn't like it. Like that, I think that was the part that I was like, now I'm just angry. Like before I was annoyed, but now I'm just angry. Like she's raising all your kids. You can't send her home for the holidays.
So yeah, so they have 8 children.
I put that they had 1,000 children.
They had either that or 8.
In my notes.
Yeah, it was one
Somewhere
or
in
the other.
between 8 and 1,000.
And 1,000.
Yeah. So they had 8 children, and her husband is like 25, 30 years older than she is.
Yeah.
And they get all their money from, he owns the world's largest or the country's largest timeshare company.
Did you love how he came about this business? Did you hear that story?
Remind me.
So basically, he lives in Florida, and behind this property where he lived, he had an orange grove. So a guy stops by one day, and he's like, hey, I see you have an orange grove back there. I'd really love to buy part of it. I have this idea where I'll set up this hotel, and I'll do these things called timeshares. And so the guy was like, well, I'll think about it or whatever. Well, the guy leaves, and he was like, bump that. I'm about to do it myself. And so he
great idea.
built his own timeshare and basically became the timeshare king.
That's capitalism, baby.
I guess so.
That's capitalism. That's how it works. So David Siegel, I loved. David Siegel has no time for his wife. He has no time for his children. He only has time for timeshare business.
And being bankrupt.
And he likes to sit on a literal throne.
Do you know what my favorite quote from David Siegel was?
What?
People are better for knowing me.
Yes.
And I thought, and I,
People are better for knowing me. My wife is. He went on and on. He told
yeah.
like a whole list of people that were better for
that
knowing
was
him.
really the only thing I could get on board with because I was like, me too, David.
Yeah,
People are
you're not
better for
wrong.
knowing me.
You're not wrong. So she was Mrs. Florida when they met.
Can we talk about these Mrs. pageants for just a moment? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't get it. If you've had kids and got stretch marks, you don't need to be in a pageant. I'm sorry.
Well, have you seen these women? They're
Well,
gorgeous.
yeah, they've had
They're
them all
not normal.
fixed.
They're not like normal moms.
I don't
Yeah.
like it.
The like a lot of the younger kids, like when they're 16, 17, a lot of them attribute a lot of their success in life to pageants because they
Yeah.
they get the ability to kind of fake it, and they get just to smile through the pain and to kind of fake it through life, fake it till you make it, right? So
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. They learned confidence and they learned the ability to.
Well, you know what
kind of-
Jackie learned? How to upgrade her husband.
Yeah, she did.
That's what Jackie learned.
Yeah, she did. She said she didn't even like him at first.
She said, "Do you know what made me fall in love with my husband? It was that he was just so complimentary of me.
He really liked me.
He really liked me a lot, and that made me like him." So Jackie has found herself a new husband through the pageant circuit,
Yep.
and she's super happy about it because he's filthy rich, and that's way better than a husband who's not filthy rich.
Who is
Who's
not
just kind
filthy
of
rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now listen, I know you don't like her, but I like Jackie. I thought she was a nice lady. I thought she was an extrovert. I thought
She might be. A
I
nice
thought she really
lady.
loved him. Like I felt like she really loved him. Like she wasn't like if it was me and I was married to somebody just for their money, I would be grossed out by them and I would try to stay away, but she was all up in his business.
Well, she said she finally found a husband who would have sex with her. So that's a plus.
He does not use Viagra.
She wanted you to
Now
know.
they've got it just in case, but
They've got those 8 kids, and they came natural.
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
And he did not need Viagra.
Right. Now, those 8 kids, did you notice that the nanny bathes those 8 kids in the 6-person hot tub?
Yes.
She throws them
She
all in the
throws
hot
them all
tub.
in there.
She's just like, we're getting this done.
Have you seen how much laundry she's got to do? She does not have time for all that.
Well, they have a 30-person staff.
Not only that, she has to dress up like Rudolph sometimes. So her plate's full. She can't be bathing one kid at a time.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
So the documentary starts off as just a look at Jackie Siegel and this house, but in the midst of this, the housing market crashes. Like the economy crashes. That's Lehman Brothers goes under. All these investments go under. The banks are looking carefully at the people they're lending money to. And there's a massive investment of $420 million that David Siegel is in, and he can't get it financed anymore, and that's the end of what's supposed to be their life. So now they can't take private jets.
Can you imagine?
What a hardship.
How do they get around?
Man. Do you
Commercial, JD. They
You
flew
know-
commercial. And she went to rent her car, and she said, does the driver come with this car?
She said, "What?" No, she said, "What is my driver's name?" That's what she said. And the guy looked at her like, "What?" And she was like, I
he
really-
couldn't tell if she was joking.
She's so down to earth. She really likes to know their names. And so she needed to know the driver's name. And he was like, "This does not come with a driver." And she was,
She played it off. She played it off. She was like, oh, okay. I'm going to have to
"All
drive, I
right,
guess.
I'm going to have to drive." To her friend's house, who lives in this sweet little home. And I'm sorry, but I could not have dealt with her. She's coming to my house, okay? My friend who has married and hit the jackpot over here, she's building the largest home in America. And she walks into my meager, sweet little 3-bedroom, 1-bath home, and she says, "I'm so proud of you. You have done so well in life, and
You've done so good.
this is gorgeous."
That's a lot of compliment coming from a girl who stuffs all of her deceased
Yes,
pets.
I was just
Oh
about
my
to say,
gosh.
she's got her pets taxidermied all over the house.
Can I tell you that one that got run over by a car that she can only put on the piano because it's flat?
What?
Did you not see that one?
No.
She said this one got run over by a car, and you see it, and it looks like a rug because it's flat. And she stuffed it, and it's
That's so
laid
bad.
out on the piano.
You tell me Avery would not have taxidermied that last cat you had to put to sleep.
Girl,
No, she didn't like that. cat.
we didn't like that cat. I will tell you what we will do, and that's when Avery's beloved Shelby dies. We're going to have her stuffed, but we're going to have her animated to where she can do things
Like a GIF?
like with like pipe cleaner arms. So it can do things that it never got to do here on Earth. Like she could do back handsprings. She could
It's like a
climb
stuffed-
different things.
Run.
stuffed animal for my kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
She's so old that you have to give her baths, and her hair is separated.
Oh, how old is she?
She walks in the room and you can smell her.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sad.
Smelly cat.
And it throws up everywhere.
Smelly cat. It does. She throws up about 7 times a day.
I don't know where we were before this whole conversation,
I
but
got a plan. Can we talk about the 10 kitchens?
Oh.
That's the most astonishing thing to me.
we're talking about the,
Yes.
the
Dog.
taxidermy
The
dogs.
taxidermy dogs.
Okay, so we were
yeah.
talking about how one of them was flat on the piano.
How about I'm worried about their little child that was on the merry-go-round.
Oh my God. Okay.
What was his name?
I don't know his name, but look, when we do our episode on Patreon about free range parenting,
Uh-huh.
that child on that merry-go-round was me when I was in the 6th grade.
His name is Drew, and we never saw him again in this documentary. And so
Well, he
I'm
had
wondering,
shaken baby syndrome after that.
I'm wondering what happened because
Shaken
he
baby
flew
syndrome.
off that merry-go-round like you would not believe. Now, can we talk about a little bit about the timeshare business? Because
Okay.
I don't know if you know this.
Do you have
but-
one?
No, we almost had one.
Okay.
Okay. Many of you may or may not know, Philip and I got married very young, and the frontal lobes were not developed yet. Okay. So we decide we're going to take this little vacation to Gatlinburg, right?
Okay.
So we go, and
Home of
When-
a lot of timeshares.
home of the timeshares. And so when you're there, they like to stop you at like Walmart, and they'll be like, "Do you want to see the big caves? Do you want to go to the Dixie Stampede?" And we were like, "Yeah, we do." And they were like, "Well, we'll give you free tickets. All you have to do is come sit at this informational meeting." And so I looked at him and I was like, "We poor, let's do it." And he was like, "Yeah, we're not going to buy nothing." And I was like, "Yes, suckers." And so they give us all these free tickets and this free meal, and we're like,
Sure.
"This is wonderful." We go paint the town red. But first, we have to go view this timeshare. So we go and we view this timeshare, and you know, you're walking through there and you think, they're so dumb, like they're never going to get me. Well, then they bring you in and they sit you at this table and they give you a beverage and they give you a little snack.
They groom you.
They groom you. They get you ready. And then they tell you about how, did you know that people who take vacations every year have less heart attacks? And I said, "Well, God, I'm 20. I don't want to die soon." So, yeah. And my mother has heart issues. So, yeah, tell me more.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Did you know, you're a young married couple, right?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Did you know that couples who take vacations together every year have a lower divorce rate?" And we were like, well, my God, I'm pregnant. I don't want to
Wanna get
leave.
divorced?
I don't want to get divorced.
Where do I sign?
Right. And so, and they were like, do you feel like that, you're on vacation right now. Do you feel like in the future that you're going to love your spouse enough that you're going to want to take a vacation with them every year?
The rhetoric
And,
on that.
and I was like, do you, Philip? Do you love me enough to want to take it? And he was like, well, God, yes, I want to take you on a vacation every year. And so we looked at it and we were like, we could never afford this. And they said, well,
Yes, you can.
yes, you can.
God alone.
And so they would break down everything. Now, praise God, it requires a down payment. And we had spent every dime we had to get to Gatlinburg.
Right,
We weren't
right.
even worried about next month's bills. So we could not pay this down payment. That's the only thing that saved us. They were like, do you have credit cards? And we were like, we're not old enough to get them. So that worked in our favor. But I can see how these people fall victim to timeshares. And then they tell you, you can leave this to your children and your grandchildren.
Well, they're actually like awful investments, right? Because
They're-
like a
they're
vast majority of
terrible.
them lose value off
They're
the
terrible
initial
They're
investments.
terrible investments.
Yeah, they're terrible. I mean, I don't know. There's people out there that are timeshare people. They really like their timeshares. My in-laws have a timeshare. They love their timeshare. They go to Gatlinburg every year.
Yeah.
But you can't get rid of them.
No.
Like, there's
and you have
nobody
to-
will buy your timeshare.
And you have to pay like yearly maintenance fees.
If you don't
and-
go, then you don't get to use what you paid for.
Right.
So, and you only get like a week.
Yeah.
It's not like you're
Exactly.
even.
So the reason that Siegel was so successful with these timeshares is because of his mother and dad, who were addicted to going to Las Vegas. And they pretty much lost their entire
Yeah.
retirement and fortune going to Las Vegas because they would go to these places and these places would treat them like kings and queens.
Right.
And so he adopted the same philosophy when it came to timeshares. You take them to the very best room we have. You tell them that this is luxury, and are you going to want to go back to the Holiday Inn? Because most people who get timeshares, they're not people who can afford to build beach homes or vacation homes. These are people who are renting hotel rooms
On a budget.
On a budget, yeah. So they're selling them a dream and basically saying you can be a king or a queen for 1 week a year.
Yeah.
You only have to pay so and so amount of money.
Now, if you were to guess, Misty, how much money do you think you spent on personal things last year, like purses or clothes or even for your kids?
Oh, goodness.
No, I'm not talking about like your bills. I'm talking about extra things.
Like just,
I'm not talking about your rent and your food.
Like Christmas presents
Okay,
and stuff like that?
Christmas presents, clothes. Just like you saw an outfit that you like, Avery's dresses for prom.
Oh,
How
good
much money
Lord.
do you think you might have spent altogether?
I don't like to look at our checking account, so I don't really know.
I can almost guarantee.
I can guarantee it's over probably $10,000.
Okay, it was not $1 million like Jackie Siegel spends every year.
Jackie Siegel hits TJ Maxx.
She does now that the economy
She
collapsed.
does now. But before she's spending $1 million just on a shopping trip.
Yeah, so David comes home one day and he says, it's all gone to heck, okay? We can no longer fly on a private plane.
You may not turn the lights on.
You need to
All the
turn
lights
the
have to be
freaking
off.
lights
They're out.
off this house.
Yeah.
Don't leave the door open. You're going to let the heat out or the air out. You're in Florida. We have got to unload 75% of this house staff. Pick a nanny that you want to keep.
Right.
Because she said
Send that one
having
back.
babies was so easy. When I found out that I could have a nanny for each one of them, I just kept
Oh,
having babies.
yeah. She
I'm
loved
going to
it.
tell you, I might have two if I'd have had a nanny for each baby.
She said she got addicted to it.
She got addicted to
Addicted
having
to
babies
having
because she
babies.
has never had to take care of a baby.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you? People are so nice to you when you're pregnant.
You know,
Like,
we've talked about that before.
it was so fun to
she
be
got
pregnant.
to be the fun. She got to do the fun part of
Yeah.
being pregnant.
And then afterwards, her husband can afford to get her plastic surgery and peel her face off with a laser, so why not?
Have you ever seen? Okay, sorry, JD. Have you ever seen boobs larger than what this woman had?
JD, have you ever seen boobs larger?
I think there is a world record. And it's
Only an 18-year-old boy would know this.
no, I saw it on TikTok.
You're adding so much.
She liked to show the girls off.
I
too.
don't think she had any underpinnings on at any time
How old is she?
during that.
At the time, she was 43 years old, I think.
She's
when
my
we met
age.
her.
Yeah.
At one point in the movie, he said, I think, and I quote, "I have nothing to be happy about."
He did say that.
That's a quote.
Do I think no? And somebody asked him, "Do you think that Jackie gives you stability?" And he goes, "No,
No.
I think of her as another child."
Well, and Jackie also said, because there's a scene where they're doing well and they like to host Miss America.
Yeah,
Because he has like this obsession with beauty queens,
Yeah.
which is why he
Yeah.
went for Jackie. But he's real sketch and he's real gross with the whole like hugging and can you stay with me a little longer, like creepy to the max. And
Yeah.
poor Miss America, she's just like, you're so funny.
Mm-hmm.
But he did tell Jackie, when you hit 40, I'm going to trade you in for two 20-year-olds.
Okay, full disclosure, Rhett Barnett used to tell me that when we were kids.
Full disclosure, douche.
Yes, I agree. I used to hate it when he would say that.
Uh-uh.
Now, to redeem him, I will say that he was always kidding when he said it. And, of course, and...
She's way older than 40 and he hasn't done it yet.
And thanks.
We always talk
What you
about...
meant to say was, you're older than 40, but you look like you're 20.
You're older than 40, but you look like 20 years old. You have the skin of a microdermabrased Jackie.
I look like I've been pulled taut.
So taut. And you don't even need Botox.
Thank you, Misty. That was
Not Botox
nice
at all.
save.
Did I
Nice
redeem
save. Because
myself?
Misty was like, because Amarilys, you are real old.
Amarilys,
Really, really old.
Amarilys, you are only 40 plus. That is it.
10.
And 10.
Plus 10.
Would you ever believe Amarilys is 50? She's not.
Thank you, JD. But JD's visiting my home, so he didn't have a choice
Listen,
but to say that.
My husband stood before a Sunday school class and, mouth agape, exclaimed, "There's no way you're 50."
Well, thank you.
And I was offended because I don't like him complimenting anybody but me. So,
I wanted to go back to where she spends $1 million in shopping, and she tells us that she had $10,000 pair of Gucci pants. I
Hold on,
don't
pants?
understand a pair of Gucci pants.
What makes them $10,000? Like, are they studded
Gucci.
with diamonds?
They're Gucci.
they're Gucci.
No, they're Gucci.
She said Gucci, Louis, Prada. It's a habit.
Can we talk about how proud Jackie's mother is of her?
Yes, but I don't remember Jackie's mother.
So when they go to visit, they visit with Jackie's mother a little bit. And Jackie's mother said she was so proud that there was a news clipping that Jackie was building.
No, that was her aunt.
Oh, was it her aunt?
That was her aunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never said
No, that was her. Yeah, whatever.
Was it her aunt?
Yeah, I think it was her
I
aunt.
thought it was her mother. But she said she was so proud of Jackie because there was a news clipping saying that she was building the largest home in America, that she got copies and passed out at a party.
So everybody knows.
So everybody knows.
Yeah.
And everybody was interested.
That was sort of like when you have a prayer request in church and actually something gossipy,
Yeah.
and everybody finds out about it because you're asking for prayer.
Right.
She's just like, look at Jackie, I'm so proud of her. And so she's wanting everybody to see, hey, she's building the biggest house.
Right.
I think that's sort of how I took it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she told everybody. So we finally at some point meet all these kids. And they have, now I will say this, they had that oldest girl, Jonquil.
I didn't understand that name. Was it?
Jonquil, Jonquil.
Is that a common name?
I've never heard it, but
I've never heard it.
we meet all the kids, and the oldest one, Jonquil, is adopted. She was Jackie's brother or sister's child. She's a niece.
I think it was a brother.
Okay, she's
Yeah.
a niece, and they adopted her.
And she didn't have a relationship with her dad, but she did with her mom, and her mom passed away.
Yes, it was not a good situation. And
Right.
Jackie took her in. And that's part of her 8 children. It's not like she says, I've got 7 children and
She
my
just
niece.
had another name.
Yeah.
Well, probably, I don't know if she had a nanny because she was like 17 years old, right?
Yeah.
She was old, or she might have been older. She might have been like 18.
Yeah. I mean, I give Jackie props for that.
Yeah, she totally
take
took her
her
in.
in.
See, I think Jackie's a nice lady. I found her to be like
I don't think she's
a
not a
little
nice
bit,
lady.
like she did it because she's been in this wealth for so long. She didn't remember what it's like to be normal.
She's just removed from reality.
Removed from reality. That's a good way to say
Yeah.
that. Like I really think she's a really nice lady. I never think of her as being an elitist. Like, when I think of somebody super rich, a lot of times they feel like they're better than you are. But she's just removed from reality. This is her world. And it's not that she thinks she's better. It's just what she's used to.
Well, I mean, you can tell she's new money. I mean, she's not old money.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't carry herself as someone who was raised wealthy. Like, you can tell she did not come from money.
Well, and she has said, I've been poor.
Right.
And I've been wealthy. And I could go back to being poor because she said she was poor now that she was flying commercial.
But she said she preferred being wealthy.
Well.
It was a lot more
Doesn't
fun.
everyone?
Yeah.
It's just like to me, the whole, I don't know, just like, I think she's just really pretentious. Sorry, I just think she's super pretentious. Like and also old money doesn't spend the money. Old money doesn't go and plop $1 million on a shopping spree.
Right.
No.
That's why they're old money, right? They keep their money because they don't.
Well, they don't have to show it off.
Right.
Yeah.
That people who come from nothing and make a lot of money, that's what happens a lot with NFL stars. A lot of them come from nothing and they get all this money and they don't know what to do with it, so they go and plop it on this massive house, brand new car, and they blow it on jewelry. And
I will tell you a little personal story, and that is my family, my dad came from, they're Cuban immigrants. You don't know me, JD. My parents are Cuban immigrants. And my dad always wanted to be a doctor, and he had to leave Cuba when he was in his second year of medical school because of communism. And so he came to the United States, and he said, I'm still going to be a doctor. And so he got his GED, he went to undergrad, and then he started medical school when he was 35 years old. He worked very, very hard. By the time he got to be a physician and had his own practice, he already had the three of us. I have two sisters. And at some point, he became very, very successful. And he was like that. And I hope that nobody thinks I'm saying anything bad about my dad, because I'm not. I loved my dad very, very much. But he was very, like, that was part of his charm. He was super
Generous.
ostentatious and generous. Like, he was never an elitist. He was never like, I'm better than you are. He, in fact, was really generous and wanted to give away a lot of his wealth. But spending a lot of money got him into trouble.
Yeah.
So, I totally understand it, because it was his greatest desire, having come from absolute nothing. Like when you leave, you don't know this, but when you leave a communist country like they left, like my mom, they weren't married at the time. Long story there, but like when my mom left Cuba, they checked the hems of her skirt to make sure she wasn't stealing anything. Like, she got on an airplane with 2 dresses. And so you leave that and you come to a country like this and you make a difference in your life to the point that you have for us, it was, a huge house with the pool. And I got a car when I was 15 and 16. And then I got another one when I was 19. And then I got it, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, like, for that, it's like they just want people to understand the work that got put into it. Like,
well, I'm sure for her it felt limitless, because
yeah,
I mean, you're spending $75 million and you're not even finished building the house. I mean,
you're
like,
you're
not even done, and you're not even furnishing it.
We're furnishing it with Louis XIV style furniture,
right?
Which is who was in the Palace of Versailles. Like, it's jacked up. And what she said, like $1 million in marble just for
$5 million.
$5 million
in Chinese marble.
Yeah, but just for like that one area,
right?
And it
Which
was
I think was her garage.
Wasn't his net worth like $500 million? $500 million is pretty close to limitless. Like, you can
$500 million.
$500 million. Like, it's hard to fathom how much money that really is. Like, it.
Oh yeah.
It is tons of money, and the fact that they're blowing 1/5 of that on a singular property is crazy.
And they asked him why he was doing it, and he said, because I can.
That was right. That's the whole.
That really
The other
backfired
thing
on
is,
him
I felt
later.
like a lot of the time, I felt like the house was his baby, and she was along for the ride.
He did not want to let that thing go.
He did say, he said, I want to finish it. He said, I do not want to sell it.
So I guess we can say this at the end, or we can say it now, and I'll say it now. They went through some, like, where the house went into foreclosure, and they thought they were going to lose it, and in the end, they've got the house back, and it's scheduled to be finished in 2022.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I saw some pictures online where it looked almost done. Like, the landscaping wasn't done, but the windows were in, and the marble outside and the columns and everything was done.
I mean, I just have to say, it was hard for me to feel bad for them, or to even consider that like financial issues, you still have a driver. Like, I'm having a hard time feeling bad.
We still
for
got a
you.
26,000 square foot house to fall
Right,
back on.
like-
We're still okay.
You're still all right.
26,000 square feet. I can't. My brain can't compute the size of that house.
That's like a Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a whole Walmart.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a Walmart being your house, but the Walmart has multiple floors and 18 bathrooms.
Se- 17
17.
bathrooms,
So-
and they're busting at the seams.
They're busting out the seams.
Does each person have 2 bathrooms?
I think so.
Is that what the problem is?
Yeah. Yeah.
That math adds up, yeah.
And then she goes room to room, and she says, "You know what? We gotta give some of these toys away. We have too many toys." And the kids are like, "Oh, I didn't even know I had that toy.
Oh, do
What
we
is
have,
that?"
What is that?
What
Take
is
it out of the
That looks
box.
fun.
Yeah.
When I get
So
that,
she
okay,
gathers
Christmas is a
one
good-
grocery bag.
One grocery bag.
One grocery bag
So
went
generous.
straight to Goodwill.
Yeah.
Went straight to Goodwill. And then my favorite, I think, hands down, my favorite part of this whole thing was she knows they got to be saving on power. She knows they can't fly private anymore. She knows she can't buy no $10,000 Gucci pants anymore. But she knows she can go to Walmart and buy 8 Operation Games and 3 more bicycles for her family. She spent, I don't know how much at that Walmart. They didn't show the ticket, but it had to have been
Thousands.
$15,000-$20,000.
Yeah.
They couldn't load it up in one car.
Right.
They had to load it up in 2 cars. And then when it was Christmas, they gave David Siegel a game of Risk. Because what a timeshare magnate at 75 years old needs is a game
It's
of
the
Risk.
game of Risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Christmas. Merry Christmas. She said she had actually had those games for several years, but the kids weren't old enough to play them, so she just went ahead and wrapped them up this year and gave it to them.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's such a giver.
And then in the middle of this crisis where they don't have any money, now he did say, I don't want to mislead you. It's not like we don't have any money, but he sure is making it sound like they're destitute.
He is in depression, half naked in a dark room.
Yes.
And
yeah.
all he can say is turn the lights off.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Every light in this house is on.
Yes.
yeah. Like his kids are coming in there. Like,
But now, I guess optics are everything, and they did have that enormous Christmas party.
they did.
They had an enormous Christmas party where their nanny was made to dress like Rudolph the reindeer.
Rudolph.
You know, it is hard to feel sorry for them. First of all, parties cost money.
Oh, yeah.
If you're
The
having one
amount
that
of food
large,
and
it's
the
probably
amount of
catered
people.
and yeah.
Well, I just looked at that Miss America party that they threw. I mean, this was not a chintzy party. Like, they had lobster claws.
Yeah.
They had,
That was before
Fountains
that
of
was before the big
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, that's
Yeah.
their idea of a party.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't doubt that the Christmas party was anything less because th're not going to let people think that they don't have
Hey,
it.
do you watch Miss America every year?
I hate watching pageants.
Stop it.
I do. I really hate watching pageants.
Can I tell you something? My friends and I used to go to local pageants for entertainment.
Are you serious?
I'm not even kidding. So my friends, we called ourselves the Fun Girls.
Of course.
If any of y'all are listening, you know who I'm talking about. One of our favorite things to do was go to local county pageant. And one year we went and we saw a girl dance to My Heart Will Go On. And then my very favorite thing was there was another girl who did a poetic reading of Maya Angelou's I Am a Phenomenally Phenomenal Woman. And so this girl got up on stage and y'all can't see me, but she would say, from the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm a phenomenally phenomenal woman. So she would say each stanza of that poem, and because that's how it goes, each stanza, and then at the end of the stanza, it would go from the top of my head, and she would point to her head, to the bottom of or tip of my toes. I'm a phenomenally phenomenal woman. For years, my friends and I would just randomly say, I'm a phenomenally phenomenal woman. Yes. Then we went to another local county pageant further north from here, where there was a Minnie Pearl impersonator for talent.
Stop it.
Can you describe that in just 3 words?
Do you know Minnie Pearl?
Do you
You're
know
too
who Minnie
young for
Pearl
Minnie
is?
Pearl. Minnie Pearl was a country character, like a country music character,
There was like a country-fied
variety show.
programs called Hee Haw.
Yeah.
Okay. And Minnie Pearl was the old lady on it,
Uh-huh.
and she always wore a hat with a price tag.
This
Right.
chick?
Yeah. She was a comedian.
Yes, she was kind of the comic relief.
Yeah.
And she, I guess, sometimes would sing or she would do some sort of routine.
Right.
And at this pageant, there was a Minnie Pearl impersonator with the blue dress and the hat and the price tag, the whole shebang.
Right.
But my all-time favorite pageant, all-time ever, I went specifically, there were 3 contestants.
Oh.
Only 3?
3 contestants. You heard me. 3 contestants.
Was this like the final?
Nope.
round?
It
This
was the whole pageant.
The whole shebang.
3 contestants. Her talent was to sing "The Wind Beneath My Wings." Oh, you
Yes.
are the wind beneath my wings. So there were 3 judges, and when she got to that part, she took her finger and she pointed to
pointed?
each judge. Oh, you are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, you. And I'm here to tell you, she won that pageant.
I bet she did.
She went on to Miss Alabama to represent that local pageant.
I had to sing that at a funeral one time when I was 10.
Did you point?
I did not point. I actually hid because I was scared to see the body. And my dad was doing the funeral, and it was a woman, and she said, will your daughter sing? Because I sang at church. Will your daughter sing at this funeral? And he was like, of course she will. And she chose "The Wind Beneath My Wings."
I had to sing it one time from a daughter to a mother at a birthday party. It was like her parents, maybe the anniversary or maybe like a dual birthday party. I don't remember.
Right.
But I sang it from her to her mom. And then she asked me to sing "You Light Up My Life" to her dad. Now that on the surface sounds good, but when you consider that the song is about lovers.
Right. Awkward. Did you make direct eye
So
contact?
many nights I stood by my window. And like she's waiting and pining for this man. And
And you're singing that
and
somebody
I'm singing
else's
this song
husband.
from the daughter to the dad.
Oh.
Yeah. Nobody screened it, I guess.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Yeah. Also, did you see that gym in that house? It's like a mini Planet Fitness in there.
I did see that,
Oh
Jim.
my gosh. It is and they're all in there, all of them.
We were talking about how they weren't really poor. They were strapped for money for them, but they still
For
they
them.
they still had money.
Yeah. Them being strapped for money is like our best week.
Right, like them being poor is like, I mean, they're only at like $50 million. Like,
Yeah.
Poor
like
thing.
$50 million, it's just chump
Bless.
change, right?
You can only get the half carrot diamonds,
Now-
not the full.
I'm going to tell you how I know that they never, or at least Jackie never let wealth get to her head. And that is when she asked her driver to take her to the McDonald's drive-thru.
And she ate those fries out of the bag in the car.
And then,
Did you love how she sat in the very back
Oh,
of
yeah.
that limo and shouted to him? I was like, girl, you can't scoot up front like it's just you.
or you can't just drive over to the drive-thru?
Something.
And then, I don't remember where they were, maybe like at a soft baseball game or something.
Yeah.
And she was like, who wants nuggets? Just get 50 nuggets. Just get 50
Oh, that's when
nuggets,
she was at the
80 hamburgers. Go ahead and bring 3 gallons of whatever.
Yeah.
She just went on and on.
That's
and
at the
just-
hairdressers when they were getting their hair did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They can't spend any money, and every single one of them are getting their hair done.
Oh, and she said make them look like Miss America pageant contestants.
They don't think like normal people.
No.
They don't. They're in a different world altogether.
She was very materialistic. Like she wasn't like in a way like they were worried about keeping all the lights on in their house, but she was out getting her hair done and getting what's it called to her face?
Microdermabrasion.
Yeah.
Right. She was getting that done, and she was talking about how bad it hurt her face to keep doing that,
Uh-huh.
and it was burning.
And
Yeah.
she
But
had,
she does it
Yeah,
every
but she
other
had
week.
to do it. JD, she's got to keep that
Well,
man.
She's got to keep it.
and she got to go get that spray tan.
She got to get that spray tan.
Yes.
She's got to make sure that
That's
her.
a lot of upkeep. You know, when you think about it, that's a lot of upkeep.
Let's just keep it real. What is he? 7 years old?
No, minimum. He's like 70. He was like 74 at that time, I think.
And did you say how much he aged within that 2 years of that documentary?
Well, the stress will age you. The stress will age you. I
I
mean,
was-
you know, you've seen presidents. They go
yeah,
in.
I was
and-
shocked at. I mean, I could tell he had aged a lot in
Yeah.
those 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 74. He's 74 and bankrupt. Like, how many women are just jumping on that? Like,
Well, he
they're-
doesn't have to take Viagra yet.
Well, I don't think he was.
So-
I don't think he was looking for anybody either. I think he was over it. Like he's had all his kids. He doesn't really. He's not down for marriage anymore. I don't
Well,
think.
he said he had no happiness left.
Yeah.
I have nothing left.
I have
Yeah.
nothing left to be happy
Yeah.
about.
Also, during this time, Jackie tells her children, hey, you may have to go to college and maybe make your own money.
Oh, no.
How will they cope?
How are they going to survive?
But now he employs his first round of kids. They're
Yes.
his employees.
Yeah, that son.
Yeah.
But you know, that's where you realize this man's fortune came at a price.
Oh, yeah.
His fortune came at a serious price. His son doesn't know him.
Oh, yeah. He said that, you know,
His-
he did
his-
the things he needed to do for him and provided, but
Well, he
they
kicked him
never
out
had
of
a
his house.
relationship. Yeah.
So, so the dad left mom when he was a kid.
Right.
And when he was, I think he said 18 years old, 17 years old, he moved in with dad at his invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the stepmom said, I'm not here to raise you. You can go somewhere else.
Yeah, I
and
think he
and dad
lasted a
didn't say,
year.
no, he's staying. Dad said, you got to go too.
Yeah.
So, so he said he doesn't really have love for his dad necessarily. It's just I mean,
But he doesn't hold a grudge, I think is what he said. He said, well, he
Yeah.
paid it. He put him through college, you know.
yeah.
He bought him a car.
Yeah, he bought him a car. He bought
Yeah.
him a car, you know, with his $500 million. You know, he made sure he got him a car.
Yeah.
Put him through college. And he does, his son actually does a sensible thing and lives in one of his 200 timeshares across the country.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
doesn't actually, you know, mortgage
he's
a
not-
house to pay for another house, right?
Right.
So he
Yeah.
doesn't go bankrupt because he's doing the sensible thing.
I just thought when I was hearing him talk about his dad and there's like this disconnect, you know, just like, you know, that's an awfully big sacrifice because he doesn't have that relationship with his little kids either. I mean, he went to their baseball game, but you don't get the sense that he knows everything that's going on with
I
them.
never saw him hug one or pick one up.
Well, he did have a fight with that oldest one. She was like, "You're being awful. You need to be nice.
Oh,
We're
that's
just
when
trying
he
to cook
wouldn't
for
get
you."
out- he wouldn't get out of that room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a bad mood. You're putting everybody else in a bad mood.
I thought it was she brought him dinner in there and he didn't really want to eat in there. And so
Well, he didn't want to come out to eat, and they had made him
They
dinner
had
for his
to make-
birthday.
yeah, they had to bring the dinner into him.
he was just so
Yeah,
sad.
and I mean, he's also, you know, in all fairness, he's got the weight of 6,000 employees. Didn't
Well, he
they lay
cut half
off
of 'em?
6,000? Well, yes, he laid off. They laid off like 6,000, but he had hoped to maybe bring them back.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. But before you even get to this part, you can see he's really like
Yeah.
he's not down with this. All these kids. She just kept having them, and he just let her.
But now towards the end, you learn that he is not going to let this house go. He's decided that this is something he's really going to try to hang on to. He ended up selling something to get like $1 million to
Yeah.
lengthen the time of foreclosure.
Yeah, he saved the house. In the end, he saved the house. Yeah.
And you said you had an update.
Yeah, it's supposed to be done by the middle of this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, one thing I did learn is, you know, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a huge reality TV person. I love anything reality TV.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
if it burns brain cells, I am there.
Yeah.
I love it. And you always hear these people say, you don't even realize that the camera's there anymore.
Right.
And I realized that was true when I saw him come out in his short bathrobe
Oh,
at Christmas
goodness.
morning,
Wow.
and her too.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I noticed
I
that
could have done
she-
without that.
I noticed that she didn't care from the word go,
Yeah.
which
well,
you
yeah.
saw of hers. So
Well, and I think that says a lot about her too, though. I think
Mm-hmm.
that says, you know, I like nice things, I like good things, but I'm not going to live and die by them. At the end, finally, when this movie was about to come out, David Siegel sued the filmmakers
oh.
for yeah, they didn't say this. This was after it was.
He
I
said,
looked
I'm
him
about
up.
to save this house.
Yeah, he did. He said that Siegel sued the filmmakers for a number of things, but he lost. I think that he said that they were misrepresenting what really happened,
Oh.
but it's just them filming him. So how could they do
How
that?
can you misrepresent?
So he lost. He lost, and he had to pay their legal fees, $750,000.
Good grief.
Yeah. So according to Wikipedia, things have improved since 2013, which is when this happened. The Siegels own the property. There's no mortgage on it anymore. Construction has resumed, but it's not complete. The house is valued at almost $200 million, and it's 90,000
grief.
square feet.
Wow.
Now, the very terrible thing that happened is Victoria, the girl that went in and confronted the dad.
The oldest daughter.
Yeah, the oldest biological daughter. She passed away from a drug overdose.
No.
They found her on one of their homes, in one of their homes.
When was that?
Yeah.
How old was she?
That was, I didn't get 2015.
She was a pretty girl too.
So she was-
I didn't write how old she was. She was
So
probably,
she was 17? The film came out when?
in 2012, she was like 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 2015. So she was right at,
17, 18,
yeah,
19?
teenager,
Wow,
late
this is
teenager.
awful.
about your age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she had a drug problem, and so she OD'd. So it ended, and then they've started this huge foundation called the Victoria Siegel Foundation where they talk about drug abuse. And so they've kind of turned it into a good thing for, try to make lemonade out of lemons. But it's just horribly tragic that, and who knows, how she ended up on drugs. But I don't know. That was way downer for me to bring us down.
Yeah, thanks. I was feeling really good about this until then.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I
I'm
feel
sorry you
kinda bad
didn't
about
like this movie. I love this movie. I really like Jackie. I think she's funny.
Do you?
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
She tried to save her friend's house.
She did do that. I think she has a good heart. I just think she just loves that money.
She calls her friend up, and she's already given her friend $5,000 to save this house.
Right.
And she's just talking to her, just hanging out. And she says, "Hey, you know that money that I sent you? Did it help save the house? It's $5,000. If we had to write a $5,000 check, we'd have to go to the bank.
Right.
Okay? That's a lot of money." She says, "You know that money that I sent you? Did it help save the house?" She says, "No, it did not." So in my mind, like I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, my $5,000 have been wasted." She didn't bat an eye.
She's like, "That's cool."
She was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry."
Hate that.
Like she just wrote it, gave her $100.
Yeah.
That's how I know she doesn't understand the value of what
That's
she's
one
spending.
1,000th of his net worth. Like
Look
five.
at JD using his math skills
He's so
from
smart.
local high school.
The-
Oh my gosh.
Like
I'd have had to pull out my calculator.
For real.
but it's just like $500 million, especially when you come from nothing, is like, it seems limitless. Like $5,000 check here, $1 million check here. It's just, who cares,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And then Siegel's over there like, "You're $1 million and
We
made a
get
death."
we got to turn the lights off.
We
Like
gotta turn the lights
we
off.
got to
Nickel
stop
and dime
spending
means
this
very
money.
different things to the Siegel.
Can't do it. I mean, enough with your gold shutters over there. We gotta cut that out.
You know what? We're just going to have to cut out the professional tennis court, the stadium court.
Amarilys,
house.
if you could add one needless amenity to your home, what would it be? Please, a microwave. So tired.
We
of
don't. Fun fact.
Is that
the
a
barn,
needless amenity though?
The barn. We don't have a
They
microwave.
don't have a
Why?
microwave.
Why?
Because
Is there a reason for that?
sort of 10 years ago, I broke the microwave. And then I went through a stage where I was like, microwaves are bad for you and your food. We don't need to have one in the house. And I'm over that phase, but it's been so long now that we just never went back and got another one.
Yeah, it's not like a.
And I know, like I know my way around the kitchen that I don't need it. The only time we miss it is like Thanksgiving or Christmas when we have leftovers.
Or when I come over and say, "Can you heat these meatballs up?"
Yes, when Misty comes over and she wants a hot meal.
Yeah, or
Can't get it for
Avery
her.
just said Nova's probably never had a Hot Pocket.
Oh no, no,
They don't do that.
no. We don't buy frozen foods.
No,
Not unless I can put it in the oven.
that's right. You've been spoiled.
Yeah. I mean, the other day we were just talking about it. We probably should get a microwave. I have not had one for so long. Let me tell you how I broke it. So I heard on the radio that you could put one of those, just put a sponge in the microwave to disinfect it.
Oh God.
And you can put just like a regular sponge in the microwave, hit it for like 3 minutes, and it totally disinfects it.
I don't believe that.
You totally can. And except I used a Brillo pad.
Oh.
Another good thing to put in there is batteries.
So
Do you know what one of my greatest fears
4
are?
minutes of a Brillo pad makes the house not smell good, and it sets the microwave on fire.
Do you know one of my greatest fears are SOS pads?
Oh, really?
I can't look at them.
What's an SOS?
I can't watch someone use one. The sound and the blue powder on them
Oh, yeah.
makes my teeth hurt. Like, it makes me
Yeah.
vomit.
What's
like,
an SOS pad?
It's this Brillo pad, like this steel wool. I can't even talk about it.
I love steel wool.
It makes me physically react.
It burns really cool. Steel wool.
I can't deal with it.
If you light it on fire.
I use it on all my
Well, I did
my
not
pots.
know you were a pyro. Get that away from me.
Didn't you though?
No, I didn't.
It's just like it. So since it's like it just kind of like flakes away. Like it doesn't actually like set on fire. It just kind of like flakes away.
I don't want to talk about them anymore.
So yeah.
So what would your needless amenity be besides
My
microwave?
needless amenity would be a chair to get me up the stairs.
That's not needless. That's just smart.
So basically something an invalid.
I hate stairs. Like going up is not so bad. Like I have terrible knees, and so going downstairs is really hard.
So basically, you just want an elderly amenity.
No, so yeah, no, so okay. Honestly, so here's what I would get. I would like I paint pottery.
Yeah.
I would love a detached studio. So I could just put it in the backyard. I could put my kiln in there. I can keep all my ceramics and paints and everything, and I would not have to deal with my family
Okay.
while I'm painting.
I love it. Nice.
Just like a she shed type situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
I
be
would
nice.
totally be down for that. What would yours be?
I'm digging that stage. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh.
You know, when I was a little girl,
I changed my mind.
when I was a little girl, I was like 8 years old, and for Christmas I got something called a star stage. So basically,
yeah.
it was a microphone, and it
Oh,
had
yeah.
2 little pedals, and you could press them, and it would shine up lights on you or make your voice like vibrate. Well, I was so excited I got this, and then I had gotten a little purple cassette player, and my dad bought me a couple of little country music cassettes because that's what I loved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought if you were performing, you could say the cuss words.
It's different when you're singing them.
It's different. And so
Everybody
I'm
knows
8
that.
years old, and I'm in there singing country music songs with cuss words in them to the top of my lungs. And my dad breaks in there, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like,
Singing the songs, Dad.
"Performing." What does it sound like I'm doing? And he was like, "You know that you're not allowed to say those words." And I said, "Well, then just take my whole cassette player. What's the point of having it? What's the point of having this microphone if I can't perform? Because if I leave a word out, I'm going to sound like an idiot."
And he said, okay.
And he said, "Well, that sounds good." And so he took my cassette player away. So I was singing Jesus Loves Me a cappella for the next year and a half before I got that bad boy back.
Until you learn not to say curse words.
I learned not to say it.
Well, that's your own fault.
The 4 letters will get you every time.
Well, who do we have this week that we need to give a shout out to?
I'm going to give a shout out to Lynn Wilkins, one of our new listeners.
Oh, Lynn.
She loves the podcast.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. That's JD's mom. And she's going to be so excited he's our guest star this
Yeah.
week. Do you like that guest star?
Guest star. I mean, it makes me
Yeah.
feel really important.
Well, sometimes when I look
We
at you,
have
I get
20s.
starstruck.
Yeah.
So
JD, we have 20s and 20s of listeners. You are out in the zeitgeist now.
you're going to be famous.
Yeah. You
Oh,
should.
And when they figure out you can do math like you do, forget it.
Oh, my gosh.
You're going to be getting job offers.
We're going to be getting fan mail.
Right up until they see my AP calculus grade.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Aw.
Listen, before you
Maybe
leave,
not.
leave me your email so I can forward you any email that we get.
Any fan mail
Yeah.
that you get. So,
Yeah. All right.
all right. But hands off, ladies. He's taken. She fought real hard for this one.
sacrifice.
Sacrificed a lot. And
lot.
yeah. Yeah. So,
All right. Good night.
good night.